Hey there, it's Power Cuties, and today, what I wanted to do was um, get you guys ready for the new content coming out tomorrow. So tomorrow we are getting these new monthly challenges, and as I'm sure you guys have heard, but just a quick recap, it's going to be 70 different challenges that you can compete with, and there will be a leaderboard for this as well. With these 70 challenges, you can only use each champion 3 times, win or lose, and these challenges will range in difficulty all the way from 1 star to I believe 5 star, and the designers have said that the 5 stars will be very very difficult. So question that I'm seeing very often is people are asking, which champions should I save for the end? Which champions should I concentrate on leveling up and grinding up for these harder challenges? So I'm gonna put the link in the description, but I am working on my Path of Champions guides, which is basically a bunch of tier lists, and one of the tier lists here is the champion tier list. So didn't want to do this initially because I find that this is very arbitrary. It's very subjective, and I mean, prior to the challenges, there really wasn't a point. But now that there are these challenges and people do want to know which champions to save, which champions to level, I made this tier list. So again, this is just my opinion. There's definitely some champions that people will disagree with, but I think in general, I don't think that there would be that many champions that people can say that are like more than 2 grades higher or lower. But I can definitely see a lot of people arguing like one up or down. Anyway, what I'm going to focus on. So there's these are the champions that are the best for what I call late game content. So what I mean by that is Galio, Asol, and assuming these high difficulty challenges as well. For these, you want your champion to be either 2 stars or 3 stars, and maybe for some of the champions, I will actually speak about them individually. Anyway, let's just go straight to the list. I could have done like a tier maker and done them individually, but I think it's just quicker just to kind of just throw everything up and just kind of talk about it all at once. Okay, so we've got on our S tier here Jinx, LeBlanc, Diana, Teemo, Gwen. Those are the 5 champions that will have the easiest time on the high difficulty challenges, or with ASOL, or just anything that's really hard. And I'm going to talk about these ones individually because they're the good ones, and they're the ones that you should focus on. So I kind of did rank them best to worst left to right there. But there are some caveats here. So I have Jinx as the strongest champion. I don't know if that's necessarily true. LeBlanc and Diana actually probably are stronger when they're 3-star powered, but I wanted to put Jinx first because Jinx is always good, and Jinx is very, very flexible. And flexible, what I mean by that is the relics you can use on her and the builds you can make with her. She's just always good, basically, is what it comes down to. And for that reason, I definitely recommend that she's the first champion that you focus on to get up to high levels, and ideally star power 3 even, because she can take care of business for the hardest content in the game. She's really flexible for relics. I should also mention, so one of my tabs here are the relic recommendations. So we can move to Jinx, but like you can see that I have a whole bunch of things listed and it's a bit general. So like loose cannon's payload, that makes sense. It gets her leveled. Scourge's stash, so with her star powers doing damage whenever you play a card, she basically just becomes discounted immediately after a card is played. Like Stalker's Blade, Troll King Crown, Laurent Blade Rack, these are all fine. These are all good with her. And then for comment, I wrote pick the keyword you want, because like you really can build her just any way you want. You can put Challenger, you can put Overwhelm, whatever you like. It all works with Jinx. So because of that, because of her flexibility, she's really easy for newer players to build her because you don't need specific relics. And then I have LeBlanc second. And also with LeBlanc, you don't really need too many specific relics. Like if you have things like Gatebreaker, it is really nice. I mean that's the one thing that you kind of do need. So hopefully you have a Gatebreaker. I know it's difficult to get multiples, but you don't need multiples. I think if you have one, that's fine. And if you have one Gatebreaker, one Stalkers, that's also totally fine. I do like Lost Chapter on her as well, just because you want to be playing mirror images, because basically you can just kind of almost loop infinitely when you have a big LeBlanc. It's kind of ridiculous. So she's an easy one to play, or to max out and play at high levels without needing specific relics. Diana kind of falls under the same category. You don't really need any specific things for Diana because she's just really good. Here I have, I would say Gale Force does go a long way in Diana, but if you don't have it, honestly, you're probably still fine. Like, I don't think you have to have Gale Force. I do like Troll King Crusher because you might as well do some Overwhelm while you're doing damage. But yeah, I mean, Diana, you can really build her very flexible. So she's another one that I recommend that you focus for leveling and then use her for endgame. And then I have Teemo next, but what I would say is if you're kind of newer at Path, I probably would go Gwen before Teemo because Teemo needs very specific relics. And Gwen is another one that's flexible. Like here I say I really like Stalker's plus attack stats so that you can get her leveled. But I mean, there's so many ways you can build her. You can build her with Ludens. You can build her with Troll King Crown. There's just so many ways you can build Gwen. But Teemo is very specific. So what you want with Teemo is Gale Force plus Gatebreaker. Ideally, if you have Teemo at level 30, Gale Force, Gatebreaker will sweep any map. Like, it is bananas. Just you have to have Gale Force plus Gatebreakers. Like, that is how you win with Teemo. And when you have those two relics, he becomes S tier. If you don't have those two relics, you might as well just throw him into like C or something because he doesn't really do as much. But yeah, Teemo is insane when you have those specific relics. So if you have those relics, if you already have Gale Force and Gatebreaker, just level your Teemo because he's going to carry your late game stuff too. The A tiers I'll go through a little bit faster. So Master Yi is amazing. In my opinion, he's the most underrated champion in Path, and he basically can go infinite very, very easily. He just needs any spell reduction, like a spell slinger power. And the way you build him, it isn't the most intuitive, but you actually build him as a spell champion. So you use Archangels. In fact, I would say Archangels is like staple. So the ones I have bolded here are staple. So Archangels, and then Lost Chapter is pretty good on him as well. I like Blade Rack or just anything so that you can ensure that he can keep swinging every turn so that you get him leveled. But getting him leveled isn't even that important. It's all about going infinite because his deck is I'm just gonna go down here quickly. I don't have his deck list, sorry. Anyway, his deck, his champion spell has add a champion item on it, so you literally can loop it infinitely. So you play it, you shuffle a champion back into your deck, you draw that champion, so you basically just keep drawing the card over and over again. So Yi is incredible. Yasuo is amazing because he just controls the game with stuns. It doesn't work quite as well against ASL specifically, but I'm pretty sure that it will work against these harder challenges where you can just keep stunning their main threats. With Yasuo, it's insane. You can basically stun forever. He really does go crazy when he's 3-star powered. Jax and Vayne are kind of similar. They're champions that like to use weapons, and they are very aggressive. For those ones, the items or the relics you can use are you can use Gale Force for Jax. Basically anything that's aggressive. Stalkers. You can use Gatebreaker. Same thing for Vayne. Stalkers, Gatebreaker. I was even using Archangels. It was good as well. challengers are good for them as well. Varus is kind of like Yi. He's kind of like Yi, but not quite as good. But he's still pretty bananas. So Varus, when you get to 3-star power, he copies targeted spells that target your own units, and with that you can just kind of like pop off and keep buffing and buffing and buffing and buffing your units. Very similar to Yi. So very high tier in the late stages. And then your B pluses these are just good champions, and with the right builds, they can carry these late ones as well. Aatrox, Aatrox can be a little bit trickier with something like Asol, but with something like Galio, Aatrox carries hard because of his lifesteal and healing, and I'm assuming that will probably carry over in the challenges as well. Iluwai, she is really strong with a specific build. So what you want is Crown Guard's Inheritance and Gale Force, and then you win on the basically on the turn that you drop her. So when you Gale Force, you're going to swing twice. You're going to get her leveled. The Crown Guards is going to give you the rally attack, and then by that point, your tentacles are like high double digits. They're like in the 20s to 30s. So it's pretty easy to just kind of win out there. I usually put like a challenger or something on Iluwai so that I can pull with her, and then the tentacles are the ones that are getting the damage in. And then Ashe is basically similar to a Yasuo, but not quite the same level. So you're freezing instead of stunning, but she doesn't quite have as many freezes as Yasuo has stuns. So she's just kind of like a bit of a worse Yasuo. Lux has mana refill when she's at high star power, and depending on your build, depending on the cards you see, this can be completely broken, but it is a bit of chance. You might not be able to find the things that completely break her. Kindred, there's a specific Kindred build that is broken, and that is the Gatebreaker. Basically you just need Gatebreaker. If you have double Gatebreaker, it's amazing, but if you have one, it's fine. And what you do is you use the Kindred spell to kill Kindred and revive them, and it's going to do the Gatebreaker damage. If you have GA, Guardian Angel, on her, like, it's actually even more bananas. Now they are nerfing Guardian Angel so that it doesn't like keep proccing, but it's still going to be really good. In fact, actually, before I forget, I'm going to edit this right as we speak, because Guardian Angel is actually really good on her. Nami is one of our newest champions, and she is really strong. The one that I recommend on her is Grand General Counterplan, so that you can just play Ebb, Flow, and Ebb and Flow every turn. And really build your units big, and that actually does carry even into the harder challenges. So then your mid-tier stuff, so you can use this on like maybe for the challenges, maybe like on like 3-star-ish challenges, maybe 3.5. So your Echo, Garen, Vi, MF, Annie, Jin, Yumi, Talia, and Viger. I'm not going to go into details for those ones, but I will say for the Talia, it is kind of important to have her at 3-star power, because that is actually a huge power spike for her. The 2-star Talia is not good. A 2-star Talia is like DF, but 3-star is really good. And for Yumi, you kind of need Gale Force, because then she basically gives Perma Scout to whatever she attaches to. The other ones, you can look at my relic recommendations. They're all pretty solid. And then so the ones that I would use kind of for the like lower mid challenges would be Kaisa, Gnar, Tahm Kench, Darius, Pyke, Lee Sin, Leona, Kayn, Evelynn, Bard. Like, none of these champions are bad. They're all fine. It's just relative speaking, like, these other ones can clear the high difficulty with, and these ones will struggle a little bit with the higher difficulty ones. But you can still, like, I have beaten Asol S rank with every champion, so you can still do it with these ones as well. And then the 3 champions that you're going to probably want to avoid, and I would recommend not wasting your time leveling them if you haven't already, is Nasus, Thresh, and Ornn, because I do think that these are the 3 worst champions, and I think that they are really bad at these high difficulty, high tempo maps. So I anticipate that they'll be kind of the same for the monthly challenges. Now, in the monthly challenges, they probably will have some challenges where they're going to have the karma power, which is both players start with 10 mana. And I would say that's when you probably want to burn these champions. Ornn can be really good when you start with 10 mana, and so can Thresh. Nasus, not so much, because you actually do need to get the slays in. But yeah, if you see... if they have like one of those karma powers at a lower difficulty, I probably will be using Thresh and Ornn on those ones. Okay, I'm going to end the video there. I just wanted to do like a quick summary just because this question had been asked a lot. And I'm really excited. I'm going to be playing a lot of the challenges for the next week. I will try to upload a bunch of them onto YouTube, but you can definitely catch them on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming most of that content on Twitch. All right. Thanks for watching this video. Good luck to everyone, and have fun. Enjoy these challenges. I'll see you guys next time.